And we are live with the Tampa Supercross review for 2020. If you nobody was listening the first time, so I don't need to apologize or whatever, so that's fine. Um, we had a little issue, but we're back. We're just starting over. As always, we are brought to you by Stroker Industries. You can get the trigger for your gas can, so that way you can just flip the thing over and then just push the button, and then you can like just control it that way. You won't spill in your graphics. You won't spill in the water if you're a jet skier or out in the woods in your side by side. So that's strokerindustries.com. Or our other sponsor, boyson.com. They invented the reed. So I would say they're the best at it. Also, they have the quick shot. If you got a carbureted 4-stroke, you can get the quick shot, and it will get rid of that little bog at the bottom. And last but not least, Canvas MX. Brand yourself. You can put your own logo on it, whatever you want. You don't have to run, Thor or whoever, which, it's fine if you want to, but if you want to be your own man, you can make a pink polka dot outfit for yourself at Canvas if you want to be a man. Jeff, what's up?
What's up, Clint? How you doing?
Fine. How are you?
Good, man. It's always good to be represented by great sponsors, and definitely can't thank them enough. Quick shot with Stroker. That thing's pretty awesome. Have one out here, and it's definitely a must use if you're pouring gas into anything. Which I think everybody has something to pour gas into. Use it for your lawnmower. Be a badass dad in the neighborhood. Um, Also, Canvas MX. I mean, yeah, just anything you want on gear. I'm so happy they came out because it was something I thought about for years. And then Boysen, one of the founding fathers of kind of innovation in our sport when it comes to performance. So it's really awesome to be represented on this by some great sponsors, and especially coming into an amazing weekend like we have for the comeback to the East Coast round, which was full of comebacks, 250, 450 class. Exciting night of racing.
Yeah, it was good. Not only did we return to the East Coast here, but bunch of people came back out of the woodwork. A bunch of faces we haven't seen in a while, and we're going to talk about all that. Basically, I'll run over it quick. James Stewart, Jeremy Martin, Josh Hill, Brock Tickle. That's a lot of people we haven't seen. That's 4 people that have been gone for a year or more.
Yeah.
What's your favorite? Who do you want to start with?
So let's talk about James Stewart. Um, James Stewart, obviously back for this round, um, or back to the series. He's back. He was he ghosted everybody. He was
Back
out
in
for
the
a bit.
building.
Yeah, he's back in. This Supercross Lives get him involved. Um, I love everything about this. I mean, James Stewart being back in the sports, the best thing for everybody. I really hope they utilize him more often. I'd love to see him in the booth with Ricky and the guys. I think he'd be great there. But just seeing James Stewart at the races with his kids, assisting his brother, um, there's nothing you can't love about this. We didn't deserve it, but James Stewart, thank you for coming back, and Supercross Live for obviously hopping on this when he did his first kind of recap of a race. I'm glad they saw us in him, and they brought him back in. So I'm happy about it, all aspects of it, and what it could be in the future.
Was James spinning wrenches on Malcolm's bike? Was he over there? You know what I mean, tightening the chain and stuff. You
No,
don't
I don't
think
think.
so?
I don't think that's
You
something
don't
that
think that's what James
James
was
would
doing?
fuck with. Yeah, maybe Big James, but no, I don't think James is spinning wrenches. But I definitely think bike setup and stuff. If he sees something a little soft, little hard, too fast, too slow, I think he can give good feedback on that aspect.
Do you think James's feedback is always go faster?
Um,
He's like,
maybe
you could
wait.
have gone way faster down that straightaway.
I would
I'm
have.
barely stopping now, but you can go faster.
Yeah, I would have jumped that whole section, bro. What are you
Yeah.
doing? Um, it was kind of funny that we're on the topic because James Senior actually said out of James and Malcolm that James is at, or Malcolm's actually the more naturally talented. Believe it or not.
Yeah. I actually told somebody that last night as well.
So yeah, no, pumped on that. So yeah, I'm happy for everything. Everything James Stewart, pumped to have him back. What's your thoughts on it, Clint?
I think it's good. The guy's got a ton of wins and some, a bunch of championships. So he's got a lot of insight and he's pretty well spoken for not being in the booth, regularly. So I think it's good and it's good to have him back in the sport. I'm sure that Feld has got some ideas to work him into some stuff. So maybe like, are you gonna have? Is your announcer budget too high if you have Ralph, Ricky, and James in the booth? That sounds like a big budget.
I mean, yeah, I don't even know. I don't know how that would work. What James would
James
want.
on the floor.
Honestly, that was where I think he'd be best. You know what I'm saying? Get him down there looking at the dirt, breaking down the dirt. I don't know. I guess you're gonna have to do some rounds and kind of play around with it, but see where he's at. But I'd love to see James do his own content. I mean, I think somebody of his magnitude come in and do their own content, and maybe doing some like behind the scenes stuff or things like that would be really cool as well.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with that. Even him just commenting on them and stuff like that is probably good. I wonder what the views on that. I bet they're up there. So that was a good job on whoever's part was like, yo, we should get Stewart to do this.
Yeah, especially once he was open to it, because obviously it took a little bit for him to actually want to be back in the sport and making his vision seen. Um, so yeah, for whoever jumped on that early, great call and thank you.
Thank you, James, for saying yes. How about that? Uh, all right, who else? Where do you want to go next? Which
Um, let's
comeback?
talk, let's talk about Josh Hill.
Yeah,
Um, how do you not love Josh Hill? Um, Josh Hill is the fucking man. From snow bike racing to hill climbs in New York last year to what hasn't he done? Electric bikes, straight rhythm, everything and anything under the sun. Honestly, biggest comeback. Hasn't raced a 250 race in 13 years, comes back to a 12th. Not bad in live scoring. Um, Josh Hill's only going to get better. I'm excited to see what he can do. I don't know if he's a good title contender this year, but hopefully there's something regular that we see. Um, Pumped on Josh Hill be back in the sport. To me, uh, honestly, might be my second most exciting comeback of the week, aside from James.
I love it. I think it's a great that he's doing it, and it looks like he's doing it from a place of fun. And I was impressed. My only issue, we know he has talent. So I think what did he get, a third or something or a fourth in the heat race? He was up there with those guys for a little bit, so that's good. Figure that it's been a long time since he's even raced. 13 since he raced a small bike, but it's still probably been what, 6 since he's actually raced, or less or more. I mean,
He raced in 18. He had a couple races in
yeah, but I mean
17.
full time.
It's been 6 years.
And when he raced last year, he did like 125 dream races and stuff like that, right?
He did some 450 races in 18. He did some 450 races in
Oh, did
7.
he? But
Um,
he didn't
yeah, actually,
score any points. That's why he was still able to go down.
nope, he did. He never scored enough points in 250 to begin with because he just remember he made the jump into the 450 class and pretty much told Yamaha like your 250F sucks. I'm racing 450 whether you like it or not. If you don't like it, cut me. When he was like 18 years old, and then he just went into the 450s. Um, he raced 3 rounds in 18. He raced 5 rounds in 15. And then the last time he did the full series was 2014. But he scored points. I mean, he scored points in 18. He scored points in
So,
6.
what is the rule exactly that he was able to drop down?
So he never pointed out a 250 class.
Yeah, but he even said, he goes, now I'm finally eligible to go back down. So I'm assuming there's some kind of issue with the 450 points he got. See, when I started riding again, it's totally different, obviously. But I didn't have an AMA card for so long. I could have gone down to maybe novice. Like,
Yeah. Yep. I think it's 4 years or something. Then you can go back. You
it
can go.
drops a class like every 4 years. Well, I
Yep.
hadn't had an AMA card in like 15 or more, so I could have gone straight all the way back down to novice. Got myself some trophies.
I'm only seeing one year of Supercross lights. So maybe it's when you go into the 450 class and get a certain number of points. Then at that point in time, you can't go back to the 250 class unless a certain time has passed. So because he's only did 1 year, 2007 was the only year he rode 250 Supercross. So
Huh.
he never pointed out of it, so to speak, or championship out. So it's got to score a certain amount of points. You're ineligible, which I think stupid, in my opinion.
I I'm torn on it because on one hand, it is definitely, supposed to be a feeder class, so you need to have room. But again, I feel like in Europe they drop back down, don't they? Like in other, if you're not making in the 450s, then you can make a living. Like if you're a 450 title contender and then drop down, I agree. That's kind of, I don't think anybody would do that anyway. But if you're like a career long 250 rider like a Davalos, it's not like he's won the championship every year, so who really cares? Can you not hear me?
Yeah. No, um, I don't think that we're. It's a different day and age that we're in. We're no longer in the day and age of the 250 class being a feeder class. These guys are making hundreds of thousands of dollars. They're making big money. It's no longer a feeder class. Let these guys race whatever class they want to race, whatever they feel better at, because you get healthy, happy riders in the class that they want to choose. We're just going to get better racing. It's a win-win for the fans.
But does
To
it
me,
not? But this way, does it not open it up for people to come up and have a chance at championships? I mean, I guess the young hot shoes are still going to come in like a Chase Sexton or uh, uh
Forkner.
exactly, yeah, and you're not going to do anything with them either way.
No, I mean, you look at McElrath. McElrath's been in the class for a long time, and it's stuff starting to click for him. We'll talk about him in a second. But I mean, to me, I don't know. It's good racing. I mean, I want to see the best guys on the best bikes for their ability. I don't think we should have to force anybody in this day and age, especially for the speeds and for the amount of risk. I mean, why force somebody into a class they don't have to be in? Let whoever race whatever class, and let's just see the best racing in the best class.
All right, you're allowed to be wrong.
Well, I mean, yeah, I get it. Um, there's just to me, there's so much opportunity in the 250 class too. I mean, there's not that many 450 rides. There's a lot more 250 rides, a lot more money in it. These guys don't really make money when it comes to racing supercross, motocross.
Yeah, right. They're rich.
Um,
Go ahead.
so no, your take on Hill.
Um, I like it. I think that I like having him back. I my We know he's talented. That's what I was saying. We know he's talented. It's basically whether or not he was in shape, and he held his own in the heat race. And then in the main event, I'm not sure if he went down or just got a bad start, but he was working forward the whole time. So I would say fitness is pretty good, and I think he's gonna be up there in a couple of rounds. I think he's getting his feet wet, and the races that he did, a lot of the races he didn't have the intensity of a full blown Supercross, I would imagine. And he was on 450s where you can be a little bit lazier. So I think that he's just going to have a little learning curve on intensity again, and just riding the bike you know, being aggressive on the bike and carrying momentum and stuff like that that you need to do on the smaller bike. I heard that he lost a bunch of weight for it, so it seems like he's taking it serious.
He definitely looked thin. He definitely looks good. He's only going to get better with time. The longer he has in this to get reacclimated, is he's going to be fine.
Do we say he can win a race?
Um,
At least some heat races, I would say.
yeah, definitely heat race. Right circumstances, right round, maybe later on in the series.
The big dogs get tangled up in the first turn or something. He gets a hole shot and gets a little
I
break. I think he
I
could.
I feel like extenuating circumstances are going to have. I mean, I think that's going to be the big thing is when you start getting into like maybe East Coast West Coast round, or you get into the right track. He has a chance, but I feel like it's going to have to come with some mishaps by other guys. But he's definitely we. I think we will see Josh on the podium.
Yeah, I would agree with that for sure. Um,
Um,
yeah.
so let's talk about best comeback. We're on these comebacks. We obviously have um, we had uh, we have Brock Tickle, who got 12th. Jeremy Martin got third. We have Hill got 12th. And then we have James Stewart, best comeback of this weekend.
I'm saying Jeremy Martin because man, that guy's been out for a year and a half, 2 years, and then he gets a friggin' podium. Like that's pretty intense. He's definitely a title contender coming back. Because same thing with Hill, he's just gonna get better. Why are we using so much CPU and dropping so many frames all of a sudden? Keep going.
I don't know. So I'm personally gonna say best comeback. Um, I think it's Josh Hill, just because if you look at what he was able to do, qualify, get a 12th. Don't think he was floundering. I think best comeback. I'm super happy about James Stewart comeback. Um, Jeremy Martin, I don't think I ever had any doubt that he was going to come back and not be where he's at. Props to him for doing it. I, however, expected him to be in that top three. Um, I think he is definitely a title contender. I would love to see him win the champion this year. Also, got to give props to Brock Tickle, though, man, for what he's been through, where he is now. Um, Brock Tickle's super happy for you, and happy to see him back. But I'm gonna have to say the best comeback. I'm gonna have to go with Hill. Cheers. He's been screwing up before that.
But here's my thing. He kind of like worked his way back in, whereas and has done some races, uh, the snow bike and all that stuff, and kind of been having fun and worked himself back into a position. Whereas Jeremy got hurt, had a extended recovery period due to some complications, and then had after a year and a half jumped directly back into competition. Whereas I feel like Hill has had the opportunity to kind of get his feet wet and build back into it, and Jeremy's like got this big dollar contract, that he better jump directly back in and start doing something.
I agree with you. I also heard that Hill's playing or Martin was playing ping pong though, and to help get his competitive juices flowing as well.
He was playing ping pong,
Yeah,
so that's basically like gate drops every time the ball comes across the table, huh?
exactly. And also talking with Phil Nicoletti. So, just arguments with Phil is like gate drops.
It's a mental war, huh?
Yeah. So between the ping pong and Filthy Phil, I think he's never missed a beat.
Okay, he's cheating because he had the training of all that stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely.
Let's
Um,
talk about the actual winners of the races. Chase Sexton, he won, right?
no, McElrath.
McElrath won, that's right. He hole shot and
McElrath.
fucking just was out. He always
Yeah.
does that first race. Okay, McElrath is the guy this year. He's definitely going to win this championship. And then he wins the opener, and he does really good for the first couple of rounds. And then all of a sudden it dawns on him, oh shit, I actually have a chance at this championship. And then weird things start to happen. And I don't want that to happen for him, but that seems to be the running theme so far. So, as far as the championship, I don't think he's going to do it.
Wow. Clint is throwing bows at McElrath. I didn't even think people hated
I
McElrath.
don't hate him, but I'm
It
going off a track
sounded like
record here.
it sounded like you hated him right there because how I'm looking at is he changed up everything. He just did a Cooper Webb last year, changed trainers, bikes, groups of people he's hanging out with. I mean, he is on a program, and those Yamahas, ruh, ruh, ruh. I'm a Yama dog. Think in the class, he's riding with Cooper, he's riding with Ferrandis. McElrath gets it done this year.
I think Chase is going to end up coming through in the end because he's pretty strong mentally. He's fast, obviously. He's strong mentally.
It's a long season, but I mean, he kind of had it handed to him last year with Faulkner getting out. I don't know.
Did he, or did he? Was he there enough to put pressure on him?
No, he definitely deserves a championship. I'm not saying that he doesn't deserve the championship because he does because he was there and you got to be in it to win it. However, um, if Faulkner doesn't do what Faulkner's done, there's a champion last year, just like Ferrandis. If AC doesn't do what AC did, AC is the champion. Um, McElrath, I think the change, I think the environment around other champions right now, I just think he gets it done.
Here's all I gotta say. How many years has McElrath been in the 250 class?
Big changes though. Big changes.
Okay, but like friggin' 5 years, 6 years.
I'm not saying I disagree with the amount of time, but like he's made some major changes, and he last night wasn't just a win. I mean, everybody who needed to be up there was up there, and he dominated. I mean,
Go
one
and
point,
look at old races. McElrath every now and then will he's like a Reynard. Every now and then he's on fire and literally just demolishes the rest of the field. He's done this for years. He's not held it together for an entire series.
McElrath gets it done.
All right. Um,
Uh, so will AC win a race?
I think so. I thought it was last night. I think he needs to, for the first one, like we were talking about with Hill, he needs to get the whole shot and have Tomac and Roxon and Cooper get kind of, which is three people, to, to not get a good start or get hung up in the field. But I kind of think he needs that for the first one. He needs to get out, sprint. Those guys get, 10th place starts or something and get himself enough of a gap. And then I think he'll get more after that.
So Clint's theory is if Saturn, Mars, Jupiter, and the Moon all line properly, AC gets it done. I think AC is going to be something silly. I think it's going to be him getting a whole shot. It's going to be his track, and it's going to be the easiest race he ever wins for some reason. Regardless of where the guys start, whether they get bad starts or no starts, whatever. I just think he does get it done. I don't think it has to be it doesn't have to be a hieroglyphics or a super crazy math equation like you have. I just think AC is going to get one round that everything just clicks. He's feeling good, and it's just his round.
Listen, you basically said the same scenario of all the planets aligning that he just happens that all three of those guys happen to not ride good. I'm just saying they get hung up in the first corner. You're saying
No,
that they just don't have it for him that night.
no,
I feel like
I'm saying
out of those three, one of them are going to be able to run the pace.
I'm not saying that they don't. I'm not saying that in that race he doesn't have them up there and they're not riding good. I just think that AC's got that talent, man. I mean, there's a reason why he's the prodigy of a rider that he is, he's going to have a race where everything's clicked. He doesn't make the little mistake. He doesn't fade at the end. He's just going to have a round that he just kills it, and no matter what those guys do, they're not going to have anything for him.
Do you think it was speed or AC started making little? He heard, the Jaws theme song because he knew Tomac was behind him.
No, because I mean he crashed. What's this weekend? I mean this
Yeah,
weekend he crashed after Tomac got him. Tomac, he's just making little errors, man. I think it's just him not being used to
nerves.
him not being used. Yeah, him not being used to that spot.
So he heard the
It,
Jaws theme while he was out there. He saw the big three, and he heard doo doo, doo doo, doo doo for like 5 minutes, and then finally,
it's funny. You go to Jaws and I go to Baby Shark. It's like do 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 do.
I guess that's more ominous.
Yeah. No, I have a 21 month old, so I mean, I guess that's where my mind goes.
I'm 484 months old.
Are you? Isn't it crazy? Like, I never thought I'd be one of those parents that, like, said that stuff. Like, oh, my kid's 21 months old, but it's like, she's almost two.
Yeah,
People want to know more specific. So, yeah, I guess I'm one of those.
it's percentage of life. At this
Yeah.
point, at 40, the extra couple of months, we're not really worried about it. But that's just my joke. I'd say that it works best with a hat. I take the hat off, and I'm like, I'm 400 and something months old. I'm just a baby waiting for my hair to come in.
When you do that, do you actually get the months right, or do you just, like,
No,
throw
I
some
add the
numbers?
months up. I keep a tally of it, and I figure out what it is. I
That's
am like
good.
it is like 484 or something like that now.
So you're not fake news in it. You're actually giving out legit.
No, yeah, because it may be more than that because it was 480 when I turned 40. So anyway, um,
So I want to talk Malcolm Stewart.
how about
Um,
Roxon? Let's talk about those three guys for a second longer. Um,
okay.
is Roxon? I mean, he. It was good. He held his own all night last night. I think had he not gone down, he was kind of reeling Cooper in. I think he was putting pressure on him. But then, when they were yo-yoing back and forth. But even you could see after Roxon fell, their times, if you compared them, they basically kept a 9 second gap the entire time. So obviously, Eli was the one on the move. But I'm glad that Kenny was able to do that for the whole race, and it's not more of the health issue popping back up and reason he's losing touch with those guys.
Nah, Kenny's in good shape. I agree. You know, he had the little bobble with the front end knifing. I think he's good with there. I think that we'll see Kenny win a couple more races this year. It's going to be a tight series. I mean, he's only four back from Tomac. Um, they got to get in here and stop Tomac though soon because he's what, three races in a row, or this is his third win this year. Um, they got to do something because this could get scary for these guys quick if Eli just keeps ripping these things off and keeps getting that confidence. Yesterday, Eli had it. You could just see in his face that after that heat race win, that he was not going to be denied.
Yeah, but how long until Tomac implodes?
Could happen, couldn't happen. We can go back. This is kind of like the McElrath thing, right?
Yeah, I mean, listen, all we can do is go by the past, right?
If we go by the past, though, he's never been in this position in points this early in the series. And he's never had really an issue finishing the series. Finishing the series has been one of the things he's always done better. He usually has worse rounds in the earlier in the year. So um, these guys are in trouble because he's already got the red plate and he's already got momentum.
I mean, well, that's true. That doesn't mean that he doesn't uh, get some 20ths or something.
You'd have to look at what he does rounds 8 through whatever. in the past 3 years. He's never been this good in a position in the last 3 years. In the last 3 years, he's as bad as it has been. He's still been a championship contender at the end of it.
He led the points from like how many down last year? He came from like something ridiculous down in the beginning of the season and got himself to like leading the points and then just imploded, disappeared
Yeah,
again.
I don't know. I think he's gonna get it done.
I think as much as I don't, it's not my favorite. I think that Webb is going to be difficult again because he's quietly right there every single week. He's just good weekend, bad weekend. It doesn't matter. He's like top four.
I'm seeing a pattern. You New Jersey guys get angry and don't like people. Jesse Pierce the other day on Tuesday doesn't like babies, and you tonight not like not liking Cooper Webb. You said I don't want it to play out this way. Um,
Because Roxon's my guy.
yeah,
I
it,
want Roxon, but you know.
I love motocross and supercross. I'm probably one of those people that it seems like a PC response, but
I also like
I
AC as well.
I there's not a guy out there I don't like. There's not. I can't think of a single racer I don't like.
Yeah, it sounds like a cop out. That's fine. I'm a
Um,
Roxon guy. I like Roxon. I like Tomac too, but now especially with it, and it's probably a brand thing. I liked Roxon on the Suzuki, and then I'm a Honda guy as well. So once he swapped to the Honda, I was full Ken Roxon. But I mean, I was Tomac guy the year that he blew his shoulders out when he was on that Honda. I thought for sure he was about to just work everybody. But
if if he doesn't blow out his shoulders, then do you think his career is completely different right now?
yeah, he's done. He already retired. He already won everything like 3 years in a row and just packed her in. I mean, think about
Yeah,
even Roxon. Think about Kenny if he didn't get hurt.
yeah.
He was looking like he was about to blow everybody's doors off that season. And, you ended up with. What year did he get hurt in? 16, 17, something like that.
17 and 16 and 17.
Yeah. So who won 16, Dungy? That would have been a hard one.
Dunge, and then Dunge again in 17, and then 18 was Anderson, then 19 was
Webb.
yeah.
See, those are the years, like the 18 year especially, and I don't know why I feel like this. That probably would have been the easiest one. Although, uh, what's his name? El Hombre did good that year. I mean, he did win a bunch of races. I'm just like, where is he now? What is going on?
Yeah.
Why is he not? I don't think he wants to be that guy. I keep saying that, but I don't think he wants to be the guy winning every weekend and have that pressure on him.
Yeah. No, I yeah.
As crazy as that sounds, but I think that's what's going on.
That makes sense.
He always says that interview he's like, "Oh, I want to be, around for a long time." And I think that's the I don't think he wants to win a couple of championships. I think he wants to be like a Kevin Windham and be around for a long time and be a fan favorite, which is a good place to be. Hey, less pressure, a little less risk because you're not pushing as hard, and a prolonged career. That was me in
I think he
freestyle.
wants. I think he wants to win championships. I think he wants to know how to manage everything better. I don't think he. I think he wants to win, but I think the obligation to go with him might have immensely affected him. So we'll have to see what Anderson does in the future. Um, one one thing we haven't touched on yet, and that's Brock Tickle being back. We touched a little bit on him. Obviously, he comes back to a 12. Um, but let's talk about these PED suspensions. We've obviously had, we had Cade Clayson that's deal with a bunch of stuff right now, right? And we also have, Christian Craig just went through his ordeal, and then Brock Tickle's coming back. What's your thoughts on these PED suspensions?
Well, they need to have a way to retribution. You know, the tickle one, I guess, is the first one, so that's why it was such a cluster. But the guy was out for 2 years. Nobody would ever get back to him or tell him what was going on. You know, like seems a bit harsh. And at least there needs to be a set guideline or something that this is how long a suspension should be. You can't just be like, we'll get back to you, or just not respond.
Um, totally agree. A couple takes I have on it is one, the communication's fucking awful. I mean, just sorry about my language, but it's
Ugh.
awful. Absolutely can't have this kind of communication at a professional level with sports. These guys need to know what's going on, when it's going on, and they need to be updated throughout the whole process. And I don't care if you're James Stewart, who we saw it with, or if you're, back of the name, just got your pro license guy. Doesn't matter, in my opinion. Better communication. Supplements. These tainted supplements and stuff, we really need to get behind it. Maybe Arma, Rhino Power need to be certified, certified supplements that people can take where if they do have a pop test for a tainted supplement, these guys aren't getting affected at all. They shouldn't miss race time. They shouldn't miss weekends. They should get the results before they get notified that, hey, you can't stop racing. To me, you don't have these guys stop racing until you know, hey, you're guilty because you took PEDs for performance enhancing purposes. I mean, the testing's so good nowadays that these guys are popping for stuff that could be in water. You could literally drink water and get picograms of a supplement inside you or a banned controlled substance, and you didn't even know anything about it. You drink some tap water. So the testing's too good. We really need to get our stuff together with this because you know what? You're ruining guys' careers. You're ruining people's names. We need to get this under control.
I think we should have a series where it's all out. You can do all the. Maybe that's you have like another. You have like stock and mod for the
Like a,
athletes.
like a true mod class. I've always said that. I think moto is one of those sports that, sure, PEDs will help with cardio and stuff, but to me, I think all sports. Hey, maybe not combat sports because somebody could potentially die from an injury from another person, but all other sports, let it go. Baseball, basketball, maybe not football because again, contact sport, but they all have the money to go out and do it, so why not?
Yeah. It also helps with. I mean, I guess the factory teams have bikes that these guys can't get. So what the fuck is the difference? Like, is that the difference that some people can get it and some people can't? Well, there you go. Factory guys got to be clean. Privateers can be dirty.
That might not be a bad thing.
If you don't have a factory ride, you can be dirty as fuck.
You can take everything, EPOs, HGH,
Now
whatever
you're
you want.
like, I'm trying to set my team up to you'd be like, no, I don't want factory help.
You get like all the booze and weed sponsors, and like the other teams have got to be all like clean companies. It's
Yeah.
got to be like For Life Eatery.
Anderson got docked 2 spots for missing the whoops.
Why did he miss them? Because it was
I
Valentine's
don't
Day.
know. I have no idea.
Oh, I didn't realize that, but
I just saw it on Twitter.
well, we probably should have known that. Um, can't miss the whoops, especially if you don't lose a bunch of spots.
It is part of the track, so it seems like
Yeah, I mean,
you would
definitely can't.
have to. Seems like you would have to do it.
Yeah. Maybe his girlfriend, because it was Valentine's Day, didn't want him going single, 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 single through all the whoops.
Maybe. Too much singles.
A lot of singles, making it rain.
Um, do we have anything else?
No, that's all I got.
Very good. Um,
All I gotta say is pumped to have a different round of 250s back. That's why we love 250 racing. I feel like 250, like a new round of 250s, just get y'all excited, get y'all amped up again. So pumped to have a new round of 250s and a new group of guys going for a championship.
Yeah, I agree. Oh, Jordan Smith. I thought he seems like, from what he said, he's like being at pro circuit. He knows what's expected and this and that. And I feel like he's probably putting too much pressure on himself. Because that's what it looked like to me. A guy that's like trying really hard and maybe too hard and then having issues with it, you know?
I feel that he's going to be more him than what McElrath's going to be.
What do you mean?
That makes sense. Um, Jordan Smith is fast, signs of brilliance at times, change up a program, but I feel like he's just going to kind of do what he's always done. Where McElrath, I feel that if anybody's going to make a big change from what they've always done, McElrath's the guy.
Oh, so all of a sudden this guy's going to do what he's always done. But when I talk about the guys doing what they've always done, you're like, nope, Shane changed everything.
He did, and he showed it. He showed a result. Did he do anything different that he hasn't done in previous years?
Who?
Hampshire.
Well, he switched teams too. He went
Jordan
from he switched teams.
To me, Jordan Smith, Justin Hampshire, just put them in a ball together. They're one and the same people.
RJ Hampshire.
Yeah, him too.
And Justin Hampshire, both of them.
Both of them. Maybe his middle name's Justin. I don't know.
Justin Hampshire. Ricky Justin Hampshire.
Ricky Justin. Ricky James.
Oh, shit.
Ricky James Bobby.
Ricky James Bubba Hampshire.
Yeah. Either way, he's not going to win a championship.
This is basically how the end of these things turn out. It's us just talking gibberish.
Yeah, just shit shows. But really can't give enough props to Canvas MX for keeping everybody custom, everybody looking good, looking legit. Maybe you want to put your daycare on a pair of working gear, you can. Maybe your, off the track women's stacking is going too good and your chick wants a custom set of gear with her face on it. Canvas MX can do it. You have an old carbureted two-stroke. It's got a slight little bog, and all your friends have those four-stroke. And your friends all have the fuel-injected new ones. Well, guess what? Boys that can help you with that and make you have your carbureted four-stroke just like your fuel-injected four-stroke. Stroker MX always, or Stroker Industries always representing with getting your gas in your can as quick as possible.
What do you got? Lullabies going on in the back?
Oh, do I? Yeah, I don't know how that started.
All right, everybody, leave your questions, comments, whatever. You think we're idiots? Leave it below. I'd like to read that stuff. So
make sure you like and subscribe.
Yeah, like and subscribe. So that way you can talk shit to us every week if you think that we're idiots.
Tell me I don't know anything. It's cool. Tell me I look fat on camera. I'm well aware. I'm married, so we're good.
Doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Oh, wrong one. Hold on. All right. We're out of here. Later.